All right. GM, everyone, welcome in. Appreciate you guys coming in. Do not know where the fuck my co-hosts are. Both are missing. MIA. Don't know what these guys are doing. But either way, we have Simple Farmer coming in here shortly. And we're going to be talking about the Stonkbrokers mint, which I am extremely fucking pumped for. It's good to see some actual innovation besides garbage memes and recycled NFTs going on Robinhood. So really excited to get going once Simple Farmer joins us. normally we would run through about 15, 20 minutes of market talk and things that are happening, but that's when both of my co-hosts show up. And it's really odd that Kyle's not here, but for Kenny, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where these guys are at. So I don't know. Maybe tag them in the comments. Tell them to get their ass in here, and so we can get the show on the road. If not, I'm just gonna bring Simple Farmer in right away and get this fucking party started. I'm actually going to send Simple Farmer actually another link for the stream. We are live on a variety of social media channels as far as streams go. So you can check us out on Abstract, Kick, YouTube, and of course here on X as well. Because we're just everywhere, bro. Trying to pump out Reality Check everywhere that we possibly can. I guarantee you Simple Farmer shows up before my two co-hosts do. But either way, we're going to fucking get at it. Let me get the screen pulled up here because I want to get some shit shared to you guys. First off, one of the things that I wanted to discuss today was on the ZEET tournaments. These things are coming to an end really soon. We have two that are coming to an end pretty quickly. And this is the Pumpcade and Offshore. If anybody's not signed up for those, go make sure you join a squad, Pumpcade and Offshore. Those are ending in 5 days. So I know some friends. I know Fogo. I think he's cleared like $4,000, $5,000. Pumpcade is free to play. Pop Punk and those guys are doing a lot of cool shit. There's some tweets up at the top that you can find the links to all of this. And it should be, pretty easy to find from that point. But yeah, you definitely want to get set up on ZEET because we are cooking. Fogo and I do have quite a strong alliance over there. So want to make sure everyone has the ability to get to earning. And then a friend of mine sent me this morning. It's called The List. And apparently the narrative behind this is just like how Robinhood was started. Before it was an app, it was a list. And so there's not a lot of information about what this is going to be. He sent it to me. He said, hey, connect your ex, sign up, get referrals. Referrals determines what you are going to be getting based on this. So share it with your friends. I don't know. Fuck, we all click buttons every day. So I'm like, all right, I'll click the buttons and do what it do. So there's only 56 followers of this account. And I think I was like number 150 on this. So we're either early or we're not. So I don't know what exactly is, I don't know exactly, what it's going to be, but the tweet's up there at the top. Go get signed up, share it with all your group chats and get active as far as that goes. The biggest thing today is the Clutch Puppies thing. Yesterday we had Adam Weitzman. That was announced that he had joined the Yuga Labs board of directors. Honestly, I thought he was already like part of that. The guy owns, I think he's the largest ape coin holder. I think he owns more than Uniswap. And then on top of that, he is also one of the, I think the largest holder of Other Deeds, the massive collector. So shout out Adam Weitzman. Figgy is kicking ass, man. I swear to God, like I've never seen a community or a brand and like the spirit of a community like more reinvigorated than when Figgy took over. And I tell you what, it makes me regret 5 years ago not grabbing a fucking Bored Ape because the community's fucking cooking and the team's doing just as good of a job. So it's just nothing but cool partnerships, dope shit happening. And then we have the Beeple event coming up in October. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Well, Kenny Powers, better late than never, sir. Better late than never.
What's good, Cheese? Sorry, around a couple
What's
minutes
happening?
this morning.
Yeah, I don't even ask where Kyle's at. I've never seen Kyle be this late. He's 10 minutes late. And he's gonna be like, bro, I thought the show was at 11:30. Well, obviously you don't have notifications on, motherfucker. So yeah. But yeah, just kind of running down some things that I had pinned up there at the top.
Let's hear it.
Hey, do you know what the fuck is this? These Monad cards are now on chain. Mint yours today. I have not done this yet. But have you done this?
No, I haven't. I did see that a couple of days ago, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know if it leads to anything else, but
yeah, I haven't done it
for that first round of cards that they did, right? When people got airdropped.
I guess so. I guess it's everybody's cards. Or any, I would imagine Monad is hurting so bad that they want anybody and everybody over there that's gonna do anything. So I would assume that they don't care. It's it's gonna be anybody's gonna have a card. You just meant it. I guess they're just trying to get attention back on Monad. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. An idiot. Welcome in, sir.
Hola, sorry I'm late. I'm
welcome in.
Yeah, in the middle of a big maintenance repair project.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're at work. You actually have an excuse. You have a job.
Yeah, this was actually supposed to be my day off. I was asked to come in today to do some extra special work. So I'm not in my little air conditioned box. I'm out here elbow deep in a machine, sweating my balls off in the 95-degree weather in a warehouse. So good times. Back to you.
Well, nice. Glad you could be a part of the show. All right, Kenny. Let's run through some market stuff real quick. And I wanted to ask you about the base stuff with Jesse and him basically coming out saying he was fucking wrong. Zora and Farcaster and the whole creator coin meta. And now it's all blown up, and they basically told him to go sit at the little kids' table and let Kobe take over. What is your take on all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, there was a lot of hype in a moment for base to really kind of capture a lot of momentum. In Web3, it was, smack dab in the middle of kind of the bearish market over the past year. And, I don't think he did a very good job. I think Farcaster was a stretch, never really equated to anything. They tried to push creator coins. Actually, I mean, look, maybe he was early because Ansem's coin did really well, ran to 450 mil, not doing so hot right now. But my point is, that didn't work out very well over there. And I just think they need, a lot of people dunk on base all the time, just saying like they just don't get it. It's too much of a corporate chain, not tied into Web3 culture enough. So the move to Kobe kind of makes sense in the sense of, them trying to reel it back in and try and get, the Web3 audience interested in base again. So yeah, I think it was a good move on their part. I don't know if it's going to necessarily make that big of a change, but I think Kobe's a little bit more in tune with, CT and Web3 culture. So maybe it's a good thing for them.
Powers.
What?
Yo.
I have a question for you. Do you think that the success, at least in the short term here, of the Robinhood chain stuff, maybe could bring some validity back? I mean, it's sort of, you could make the same argument about Robinhood as you just, said about Coinbase, right? About Base. So, like, do you think that maybe the success of Robinhood might bring about a wave of attention back to Base potentially here in tandem with this Kobe stuff?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility. I do think Vlad seems to be a little bit more in tune with, like, I don't know. This is just, my opinion. I could be wrong on this, but it just seems like he's a little bit more kind of like in tune with Web3. Obviously, they talked about memes a little bit. I mean, he was saying, the chain's great for memes too, as well as RWAs. I think now what they do from here on out, that will determine, how well Robinhood sticks around post this first kind of couple weeks of, hot on-chain activity because it was new. I don't necessarily know. I think Kobe is going to be a better representative for, like people who want to degen and trade on base just because of his success and, what he's done. He's been a well-known figure in Web3 for quite a while now. So, yeah, I think I don't know if it's a desperation move. I think it's a smart move on Jesse's part to kind of step down from that position and let Kobe take over. What he does from here, we'll see. But I do think Kobe is well received by CT. So hopefully it does some good things for them.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm sure he will. We still haven't even seen a fucking podcast from the guy. So he needs to tighten the fuck up. But anyways, all right. Real quick, because Simple Farmer will be in about another 10 minutes. Wanted to see what else I had there. I already talked about the list. Kenny, did you sign up for this list thing?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I think I was like number 6 or 7.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I had seen it yesterday and then I didn't do anything and then signed up now today. So, but yeah.
What number is it on, out of curiosity?
I was at number 158.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know where like anyone is above beyond me. I seen Hans quickly came in at like 160, I think, something like that. There's 198 already on the list. Says let me check my place here and see where we're at. But yeah, so I mean it could be something, bro. There's so much stuff launching on Robinhood that it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. And I should have jumped on this. Look inside, the list is already forming. It says some doors open before anyone says what's behind them. Ahead of you, it says 6 ahead of you is what it says for me. So was I number 5 or no? I mean, was I number 7? Lucky number 7?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But either way, yeah, fuck, let's cook. So yeah, that's up there. Talked about the stuff going on Zeet. There is also only a few days left for you guys to go get your Vault Pass from Vault 777. Make sure you use the code. I think right now they are at, I think right now it's only at, you get 10 free spins and they're still up to a $10,000 bonus when you go get your Vault Pass. But there's only a few days left until these drop into your wallet. So you need to make sure you get signed up for that. Also, the Reality Check Discord is live. Please come join us in there. The tweet is at the top. Use the second link in the in that post, and you will be able to jump into the Reality Check Discord. So yeah.
I say all the wild shit in the VC that Jesus won't let me say on the spaces.
Yeah, if you were in there last night, you would have been able to see my daughter put makeup on me for about 30 minutes. It was a pretty wild experience, Kenny. We're getting kind of wild over there, just so you know. And yeah, it was a full-on VC stream of my daughter doing makeup last night. So it was a pretty boring night, needless to say. But we were just playing games, and yeah, it was a good time. All right, what's going on in the market? How are we looking today? Bitcoin, are we up, down? What's going to be cracking? What are we looking for?
Yeah, market. We did run up over 65 yesterday, and off of the CPI news, which was relatively better than expected, and then PPI came out yesterday, so. Markets reacted pretty well, but since we're a little bit down, Bitcoin's down 1.3%, back down to 64.3, ETH at 1872, down about 2.75%, and Solana sitting at $76, down 2.5%. Hyperliquid back down to 65.23, which is down 4.15%, and Zcash, which has been on a nice run, but sitting at 551 after hitting almost $600 last night, got up to about 580. But down at about 3.5%. So overall, a little bit of a pullback, but still, we're holding above 64,000 on Bitcoin, which is the big kind of resistance level that we were having trouble cracking over for the past week or two. But we, now for a couple of days, we've sustained over 64,000 which is good. So I'm optimistic. I mean, I think we're probably still going to chop, but holding a key level of resistance over 64 is overall bullish.
Yeah,
as far as the market goes.
Well, the ETH bros were all over the timeline yesterday. You know, it hit 1900. You'd have thought ETH hit 5900, bro. People were pretty excited yesterday.
Yeah, it was a good day. I mean, we haven't seen Bitcoin get that close to $2,000 fucking minute, bro. I think that's a big psychological barrier. Once we get over 2,000, I think people will start hopefully feeling bullish on Ethereum again. But yeah, so I mean that's kind of where we're at over there. As far as like, you know, other things, Ansem coin took a big hit this morning. It's back up to 191 mil, but apparently somebody clipped out about $1.5 million earlier this morning, and that's when we saw this pretty big red candle from, you know, somewhere around 200 all the way down to 149. Hit 14.9 cents earlier this morning, and apparently that was just one big whale clipping out, which has always been my fear, because if you look at some of the wallets, and there's still one wallet that I've been tracking that's sitting on close to about 5 million unrealized. It's already cashed out about $450,000 in profit, still has about $4.5 million of unrealized gains. You know, like that scares me a little bit. Obviously, there's some big whales over there, but yeah, you know, currently sitting at 191 mil, struggling to get back. You know, I mean, it had a parabolic run up to 450, and since then, it's pretty much been kind of down. You know, for the most part, it did run back up close to 300, but got rejected there. Now it's sitting, you know, under 200. Other than that, Cash Cat sitting at 97 mil. Another one that's just been taking a beating over the past few days after hitting 225. I do think the bottom's kind of in on this.
I asked you that at 120 mil, and you said, yeah, it's there. And then it dropped even more and more. I mean, bro, It hit 87, looks like 3 times. Of course, I'm out pretty far on it, but
yeah. I mean, look, you know, it got listed on Hyperliquid for a leverage trading 3x. I think a lot of people went short on it, you know.
You think?
Yeah. Which is where it comes to question, you know, why are they listing a meme coin at 200 mil market cap? It was community, you know, on Hyperliquid, anyone can vote to list a coin, and you know, if they provide, I believe, the liquidity for it, they can launch. If it gets approved, they can launch any you know, type of perpetual trading on any coin. So yeah, it was community driven, a lot of people shorting it, but yeah, I think the bottom's in for the most part. I mean, it's still, look, did $30 million in volume yesterday, sitting just under 100 mil. So I do think it's probably a decent play at these levels. I do think it's going to run back up.
Yeah, because if Robinhood listed, I mean, it's instantly going a couple $100 mil, right? I mean, it's 200 to 300 mil. If Robinhood, that was my thinking on it as well. So
other than that, Tendy's doing well on Robinhood. That one, it ran up to like, I want to say 18 or 19 mil overnight. I did see Kaleo. You know who that guy is, right? He's like a big.
Not really.
Yeah, he's old school. He's been around for a minute. He's been relatively quiet, but I did see him posting about this yesterday, somewhere around 6 mil, maybe around 5 mil. And that, I think, was the big catalyst as to why it's done well. I saw a lot of other CT people like Powell talking about it and whatnot. But yeah, ran up, I think I want to say it hit right around 18 to 19 mil. So yeah, that one's doing pretty well. Robinhood memes obviously took a hit over the past 24 hours. The whole Noxa scare, and then just a pretty across the board sell off for the most part on them. I do still think there's some good plays over there. You just got to pick and choose. And right now is like when you start to figure out, okay, which coins are surviving this like 80-90% drawback in the market on Robinhood memes. And so I think it's a good time to pay attention to see which ones have like sustainability past the 2 week kind of initial push.
Yeah.
So just watching those and seeing which ones I like.
Yeah, and I guess trying to find some that kind of have a good narrative and that may have some bigger people behind it, and they're just like quietly accumulating.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, because even this Tendies, I'm looking at Tendies, and I mean it just chopped sideways from the 8th until the 15th. I mean, it had some moments where it shot up to 8 mil from 1 to 8 mil, but I mean, it was still within like 2 to 7 mil range, or 2 to 5 mil range for a few days, a week and a half.
Right.
And when it launched, looks like on June 18th, and just sat there. So yeah, people are probably up on that. So maybe trying to do that. What's the one that what the fuck's his name? Wizard of Soho. What was that one?
Meow.
Yeah,
that's
Meow.
sitting, around 2 mil now. It kind of dipped pretty hard. It's sitting at 2.4 mil right now.
Surprised
but
him and Farouk and all those boys aren't fucking shilling the fuck out of this thing.
Yeah. Well, I do think he's still in it, but there's been a lot of posts on CT saying, Vlad needs to lean more into memes, obviously because of the pullback. I think he's done his part, but CT is so like persistent about somebody consistently shilling their bags.
Yeah.
They want to see Vlad be more active as far as like meme coins go.
Yeah, but the whole narrative is RWAs on Robinhood, right?
For sure.
Like, I mean, yeah, they want meme traders there. It brings more eyes, it brings more people, it'll bring more normies. But I mean, I don't know how much he leans into it. I think they should set a precedent though of listing top performing memes though. But how do they do that? Who knows? Because you don't want to get like Binance. Remember when Binance was just randomly picking like a fucking 30K market cap coin and listing it? And then, people had been accumulating and then just dumping, man. So you don't want to end up in some situation like that either.
Yeah, I do think that comes in due time. I don't necessarily think there's any rush for them to want to go ahead and do it, but I do think that does come in due time. So, just got to be patient as far as that goes. I do think Robinhood has some staying power on chain. I think the funnel of the regular users, 27.7 million users on Robinhood, you're bringing crypto to them, Coinbase and Base and stuff like that. That's a crypto platform, that is slowly introducing RWAs and all these other things, to try and bring normies onto their platform. This is reverse. This is like Robinhood was the normies platform for equities and stocks and whatnot. And now they're introducing crypto to that user base. So there's not, a transition of trying to pull somebody from the TradFi into crypto. They're just putting crypto on the platform and making it easily accessible for their user base. So I think that's the difference between the two. It's not as hard to bring people onto that platform for crypto purposes. They're just introducing them to their already existing user base. So I think that gives them an edge in that regard.
Yeah, and that's why I'm excited about this Stonkbrokers mint, because it seems like a NFT and a token that actually has a way to give value back to all of its holders, whether you activate your NFT or not. And when Simple Farmer gets in here, we're gonna break this down, like, because he puts some infographics out, bro, and even I get confused. And I'm like, but we're going to break this down in as simple of terms as possible, so people actually understand what these NFTs are going to be doing and how the entire flywheel.
Even I get confused, as if he's our resident PhD.
Hey, bro, go your ass back to work. All right, you're supposed to just put your hand up when you want to talk. All right, fuck. All right, Kenny, because I'm looking at the NFTs. And every NFT on Robinhood is below 0.01, except the Gremlin Cartel. I think those ran up to what, like 0.08? Did they actually hit 0.1? What was the?
Well, no. Also, the on-chain hoodies ran up to like 0.07, 0.08 as well.
Okay, and where are those at now?
think they're probably somewhere around 0.02-ish, I want to say.
What was it? On-chain hoodies?
Yeah.
I don't even see it right here in the collections. Either way, it's shit. It's sorry if you have
they're
a
sitting
bag
at
of them.
0.02 right now.
Are
They're
they? Okay.
$35.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just to give you some perspective, and these things are down 25%, or 23%, but Pup Cup for this mint is selling at 0.0529. Yesterday, it reached up to 0.07 for the mint, and then it has this retrace. Like, I think this is a pretty significant retrace. If I was in the position where I was like, shit, I haven't bought any yet, I think right now is probably your best entry, because I think as we get closer to the cutoff for the burn tonight, that we're going to see these NFTs run up significantly, maybe even back above 0.07. There was one holder
by
that
the
had
way,
the floor fucking heavily fucking bricked. What's up?
I was to say yesterday when you called the arbitrage, I very quickly sold 2 pop cups and then turned around and bought the cheaper clutch puppies. So I sold 2 clutch pups and replaced them with 2 clutch puppies. Made the benefit of the difference. So good call.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, bro. I bring the heat. I bring the fucking heat. Kenny, so right now there looks to be maybe 10, was that 11 until back to 0.06. And then there's only 1, 4, 5, 6 listed in the 0.06 range. Then we quickly get into 0.07 and there's only 5 there or 6 there. And then you're at 0.08. So, I mean, it's a fast track to 0.1 ETH on these things. And bro, there's only, how many's listed? 32 listed right now. So, and there's 875 left of the pup cups to even fucking burn. And a lot of, some of these people probably don't even, 456 of them are sitting, 456 out of the 875 are sitting in the Anvil staking. So these are people that are still actually either playing the pup cup, or it's people that staked and they walked away once their team had ended up losing and they're not paying attention to what the fuck is actually going on. The clutch puppies that you can also buy and burn, they're a little bit higher. So the arbitrage point now is getting the clutch puppies or the pup cups are about $10 cheaper. These are $105 right now to get a clutch puppy. So so this is I'm excited for this most of all on the mint. So we'll see. Simple Farmer said he's on his way. He said he had to restart his PC, so he should be in momentarily. Kenny, is there anything else that you seen on the timeline you wanted to run through before we got going with a Simple Farmer?
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of like paying attention to the market, seeing where we go from here as far as majors go. But and then just also watching Robinhood, because I mean, it feels like the most lively chain right now. Pump Fund, I don't know if you saw their tweet this morning. They're doing 99% cash back on any transactions over the next 48 hours for, Robinhood chain activity. They're really trying to lean into, kind of being cross-chain into Robinhood, because I think they realize the amount of volume it's taken, away from Solana over the past couple of weeks. So they're trying to capitalize on that, being like this omni-chain platform where you can trade coins outside of Solana. That was something they were, heavily focused on over the past year, was like trying to bring Pump Fund to ETH and other chains as well. So this, I think, is part of the steps of them trying to get exposure outside of Solana. But yeah, that's it. I'm just kind of watching on-chain activity, looking for runners, and just trying to flip in and out of stuff right now.
Nice. I believe I know Kyle said he's going to be out of work early. For anyone that is interested, Kyle and I are going to be streaming some Tolenverse tonight. We're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff, VIP passes, hunter badges. I know I got to get Big Mo taken care of because he ended up getting a second VIP pass when he didn't fucking need that. But we're going to be giving away crowns, all kinds of things, just having fun and fucking about here later on this evening. And
We'll even get my boobies out.
Yeah, we'll be live on X Abstract everywhere for that. So yeah, pretty excited to get that going. So yeah, just join us over there in the any of the chats. I'll keep an eye on any of it. As long as you're supporting us, we will try and give back to you. So, and last time we did the last stream, there was only a few people there watching in the comments, and fucking they ended up getting hooked up with everything, bro. So it was yeah, it was pretty good. Simple Farmer, GM sir, what's cracking?
GM sir, just had to restart my PC and decided to do a little round of updates here. So I thought I'd join in voice and then just hop on stream here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, are you excited? Mint's like right around the corner. I'm sure your DMs are just insane, right?
Yeah, I mean, I am excited. I'm, positively surprised in a good way. I think what people don't realize about Stonkbrokers is like at scale, properly used by the trenches, by the communities, it kind of redistributes wealth away from these people who have these launch pads, which and dexes, which in my opinion has been like one of the biggest issues in crypto. And this goes into just like my thesis is that on-chain corporations, besides like maybe the ones that run the chains themselves, aren't the point of crypto. The point of crypto is that peer-to-peer interactions, and Stonkbrokers kind of enables that, in that now what we'll essentially have is our own DEX and our own token launcher that we can go to, where when we use it, those rewards are redistributed to us. And so ideally, that is a lot of incentivization for a lot of people to use the product to power the flywheel. Because right now we look at like Nova. Nova was bringing in, $2 to $4 million of revenue a day. And when we talk about that company is bringing in that revenue, what that really means is they're removing that revenue from the trenches.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 100%. But the idea with Stonkbrokers is to give that revenue back to the holders, right? In the form of drops.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the thought process is like, look at some of these tokens, like Cashcat. Cashcat has like $1 million in sell side liquidity. That means 60 times more in this past month has been removed from the trenches than has been put into the number one meme coin on the chain, which is Cashcat. So there's a 90% outflow of liquidity due to meme coin launchers. Liquidity that should otherwise be going into tokens that we're all speculating on, or NFTs.
Yeah. That's wild.
And so this is pushing that back in that direction. So then the idea is these NFT holders, we're the curators, right? We're the people who are the most active. We're the people who tweet about it. We essentially do free marketing 24/7 while we speculate on these things, right?
Yeah.
What happens when we get that majority of liquidity back coming to us rather than being essentially extracted by one or two individuals or what is an on-chain corporation?
I think it'll be a good thing if people can understand it. That's like, I was even saying that, like some of the infographic, like all the infographics you put out there, they're really great. But then I'm like, oh fuck, like what is that? Like you were correcting us live during the stream yesterday. So today, like once you're able to get on stream, I want to go through this, break it down in as simple as terms as possible, so people actually understand what they're going to be doing, because I didn't even know there was like an activation with the tokens and things like that. So I think it'll be good to, give a full breakdown, and we can go ahead and start that now while we're here on stage. And then I'm going to be just constantly sharing stuff on screen anyways. So because the supply, I was just going over the supply. There's only 856 pup cups left, and 456 of these things are actually 456 of them are actually in the Anvil staking. So for that, that's those 456. Unless those people pull them out today, they're not going to be able to burn them anyways. So, those are just going to be those are just going to sit there, or what happens to the rest of these NFTs between clutch puppies and pup cups?
So I think the cleanest way to think about it is that there is like a discrepancy, right? That there's not going to be enough NFTs burned, so there's not going to be enough GTD allocations to mint out the whole collection. The rest of that collection gets placed into the anvil. And so at that point, the anvil becomes the proxy through which the mint of the remaining NFTs actually happens. And so what that gives us is, because this is not a raise, right? We don't raise funds with this mint. The funds for the first part probably went essentially to people trading Pup Cup NFTs on secondary. The funds for the second part will go into LP for the Stonkbroker token, the Anvil AMM token. And so then it has a healthy LP base, which represents like 30% of the supply starting to work with at launch. So in theory, it could get really interesting. As far as the Anvil mechanics, they're slightly different. They're tweaked in order to flow into the stock token rewards system instead of the actual native token like it is for the other NFTs in the Anvil. So it's kind of like Anvil special edition, special stock edition for this instance. And I think the closest thing we have, which is probably a simpler version of this, is the index token that's on Robinhood Chain that's doing really well right now.
Yeah, it's at like 14 mil right now.
It went up to 20 this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ran up to 23 and a half.
Jesus.
I was begging Cheeses during the last stream to actually open up the website for it, and I think it was around 7 at the time.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I opened it, but it was just so much floating around on the site, I didn't even know what the fuck was what. But yeah, and I think you were driving back home, so.
And Simple Farmer, that's kind of like the closest that we can compare this. Am I right in that regards as far as like the tie to RWAs?
For sure. And so the main difference is, and I don't know if you could open the index website, Jesus.
Yeah, let me go to it.
It's the index.finance.
Okay. Yeah, I had it up the other day.
So the difference being is that there's a 3% fee on swaps on the index token.
Okay.
It's a uni V4 hook. They take a 3% fee. So think about a little bit closer to like the strategy tokens, where there's a fee on every swap, and then they use that income essentially to distribute stock tokens, and they've gotten great volume. It's been very successful. I mean, look, 341 ETH.
341.35 ETH in fees collected. If Stonkbrokers did that, how much of that would be dropped back to holders?
Well, I mean, it's essentially more than what they're getting, because they have a 3% basis on swaps, while we have a 10% basis, with 7.5% of that 10% going, so double essentially. The Stonkbrokers token, I did like back of the napkin math, and I don't like doing this because I think floor projections are funny, but I think it's important because we need to understand how we can get NFT floors flowing back to the 2021 levels with actual substance. The Stonkbroker token at the market cap of the index token would result in the floor of that NFT being essentially like 2.5 or 3 ETH.
Holy shit.
And so that's what you get when you peg an NFT to a token, especially if that token does well and that token has substance.
Yeah.
And so I hold the index coin. I think it's great. I think it's a good idea. And I think, it's the kind of thing is like people's first crypto experience on chain. This is like a good experience. Like, this is very good. You're buying this token and then you start getting airdrop stocks all the time.
And these are all the supported stocks, Amazon, Apple. What's up, Kenny?
Simple Farmer, just to your point, I absolutely agree with that statement. Like, in the sense of like, if you're trying to like market something, like just for example, the stocks I've held index for a few days now. The stocks I've received, from them: AMD, Coinbase, Intel, CoreWeave, Micron, SanDisk, Tesla, Oracle, Meta, SpaceX, Alphabet,
You've
Amazon,
gotten all that in 2 days?
Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft. Yeah, they consistently airdrop you stocks, equities.
Okay. And these are
So, I mean,
these are
like-
tokenized, so you can just turn around and sell every single one
Right.
of them if you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, but the amounts that you're getting dropped from them is, what is it, like 3 cents or 0.003? Like, how big of fraction or how big of a fraction are you receiving? Is there a
Yeah, it's all relative to the amount of, index you hold. So obviously, if you have a larger position, you're going to get airdropped, more. I know somebody who said they've made hundreds of dollars in stocks from holding over. Now, granted, they have a larger position, but they've made hundreds of dollars in free stocks being airdropped to them by holding index. So it's all relative to your position.
Yeah, I'm looking right here, distribution history. And there's just, the whole group looks like Microsoft, Google, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, SpaceX, plus 12 more. And there's like 1,900 plus wallets getting this dropped like clockwork.
Yeah, no, they've airdropped, from what I understand, Index is airdropped as of yesterday over $500,000 worth of equities to existing index holders.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's my next question for you is that we're doing it with Stonkbrokers every 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And it looks like there's no rhyme or rhythm here with their drop times. Do you know what that is, Kenny?
It's 15 minutes for them.
Oh, 15? Okay. All right, cool. Okay.
And look, Jesus, I bought a couple $100 worth of this.
Okay.
And I've gotten like $3-4 in stocks in total so far.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, that's not that much. But let's talk about like a token on chain or an NFT. If we just throw a dart at the board and pick a token or pick an NFT, which NFT is going to have more value in 10 years? The one that's holding 50 cents of Tesla stock today, or the one that is, just nothing,
just green with a hoodie on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah. I know you're not trying to shit on other brands, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
It incentivizes you to hold, right? Because like, if you're getting airdropped, like there's not many coins out there where you can hold and you're going to continuously get an airdrop of equities. I mean, it's a novel idea. I love it. And yeah, I mean, they're, like, who wouldn't want to accrue equities while you're holding a crypto coin? That's just a great concept. And I think it's very normie friendly. And I think it's something easy to rally behind, especially if it does well. Because not only is the value of your bag going up from the coin side, but you're also getting airdropped all these equities. Like it's a win-win situation, in my opinion.
Yeah. You seen what I was doing there, Simple Farmer? Oh, you went on.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I respect it, but look, Jesus, I actually had something important happen. It's like I'm watching Index. I'm always trying to learn, always trying to improve. Definitely not locked in my ways. Fully experimenting with all this stuff, right? I'm not. To be clear with everybody listening, the team is me and the people who volunteer to work with me. And we don't have a huge treasury. Like the concept here is very grassroots indie. Like we're trying to make stuff out of good tech, out of good ideas and organic principles. We don't have major financial backing from anybody. And we, again, it's just me. So like to make that very clear, all of this is not financial advice. Everything with the mint, with the token. And it's a very high ceiling chance, yes, in theory, of course.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you still need people to come in and obviously the demand for it's overwhelming. The floor price for both of these NFTs, I mean, it was $135. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I bought 3 last week at like $20, and I was like, yeah, I had 5 mints, and I was like, I'll sell these 3 when the floor price goes up, because I knew it would go up. It hit over $100, and I was like, well, I'll take some profits here. And then it just kept going and going and going. So like people obviously are hungry for something good and some good tech. And then, it's cool. One of the things I wanted to go over, first off, guys, if you're just joining, we're talking to Simple Farmer and we're talking about Stonkbroker. which is minting tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. And the burn period ends tonight at 12 p.m. Eastern. So you have less than, you're right at 12-hour cutoff. So one of the things I wanted to go over was this soft activation system and how you have to activate your NFT. So can you kind of walk us through what's going on here?
Yeah. And so there's a reason behind this adjustment. It was made pretty late in the game, actually, is that we noticed, I noticed that Index was distributing a fair amount of stock tokens, right? And we want to increase that faucet. We want that drip to be stronger. One of the key places we have revenue in the Anvil is the swap between the NFT and the token the NFT. The thing is, you get that revenue right now in the native token, right? In K9 on ETH mainnet and PubCup on ETH mainnet. What I've done is I flip this into a process where the fee you're going to pay now, instead of being in the native token, you're going to pay it in ETH. It's going to be a 10% fee to swap between NFT and token and NFT. That fee, in addition to 50% of royalties, is going to flow into our contract that's going to do the stock distribution. Those stocks will go into the wallets that are controlled by the Stonkbrokers. And so this is why this is important. We still need to create interest and demand for the native token, right? Because the better the native token does, the better the NFT does. That's why there's an activation fee to activate essentially staking. So you're essentially paying to enter staking for this NFT.
Okay. And then it starts at 6,666 of the token at the base and goes all the way up to 666 million. You think somebody actually achieves that?
No, perhaps not. Right? That would be the equivalent of holding, a lot of Stonkbrokers, but you never know, right? Especially I think these types of systems are really built to cause interest for whales. There are people who have unlimited bags, or close to, and when they see bars like where it's like a 2x multiplier, 5x multiplier, 10x multiplier, they don't care. They're just like, for them, that's a game, right?
Yeah.
And so then you're playing that mental game of, let me get that max boost. I don't care how much I pay for it. And if we get a couple people who go for it, it's good for everybody.
Yeah. No, that's massive. So every 4 minutes and 20 seconds, stocks are dropped into your wallet. So now I want to kind of backtrack, because when we go to mint, are we minting on stonkbrokers.cash or are we minting on OpenSea?
Yeah, on this website, stonkbrokers.cash.
Okay. All right. And then from there, that's when you're going to be able to activate your NFTs upon that, because the token's going to launch at the same time as the NFTs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So here you'll be able to activate your NFT, you'll mint it, and also you're going to have a huge rush of people, I think, swapping NFT for token and token for NFT, because essentially 30-40% of the mint supply is happening through the Anvil, right? It's happening through this website and the Anvil process. So you'll have a lot of people essentially sniping the pool to try to pull out the super rare NFTs, because with 40% of the supply, there's a high probability there'll be a lot of rare ones in there.
Okay. But does rarity matter based on your yield, or is it just the amount of token that you put on?
For yield, it doesn't matter, but I've found that, with on-chain art and SVG, that provenance matters for people.
Yeah, 100%. People don't care. And like you said, some people have more money and they'll sit there and just fucking swap and roll. But then the good thing about that is all the swaps are helping feed the LP, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. So that's creating liquidity for the collection.
Yeah. So essentially, there's just it's several flywheels just flywheeling back and forth, through one another.
Yeah, look, there is complexity, right? But jet engine isn't simple, and it achieves something massive for humanity. So, I do think there are many layers, but I think for elite products, there's something to be said for things that are super simple and work really well. I think that's a great thing too. In this instance, we have 4 to 5 layers which aggregate to create revenue streams And that's obviously the key to success here.
Well, I mean, enough people figured it out with index, and they'll see the value back from Stonkbrokers. So, like, for those people that are like, well, I'll just buy index. What do you say to those people that are just like, index maxis, even though it's not that old? What would you say to those people? Why should they even look at Stonkbrokers versus just holding the index?
No, I mean, look, I hold both. I'm going to hold both. I think they're different. The ceiling for Stonkbrokers is higher, specifically because of the fact that we have a VDEX and a token launcher that's eventually going to support the revenue stream. VDEXs make millions of dollars a month. Token launchers, the one on Robinhood chain, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. That would be elite compared to index. Also, this builds in community to the process, identifiable community, right? So index holders, we don't really know who they are. We know the people who tweet about it and shill the bags. But I think with index, what gets tricky is if they get it to a point that they get low volume, how do they reignite that flame? Keep those stock coin distributions coming, essentially. With Stonkbrokers, the community is incentivized to do so, to keep the flame going, essentially. And then the process of having the token launcher, the token launchpad in there, is a point where we can get higher levels of stock coin distributions if we get adoption.
Yeah, because Kenny, how many launch pads are there, like token launchers, are there on Robinhood right now?
God, there's a shitload now. I want to say like probably 12 to 15, I think, at least now.
What's the biggest one now? Because there was a big influx when the one went down or something happened to that one.
Yeah,
right?
Noxo was the main one. That's the original one where like Cash Cat launched and a lot of the other ones. But Pons is like kind of crept up into that number one spot recently. I know Froth recently, yesterday, they dropped their launch pad. So yeah, there's a handful of them, but I think the main one right now is Pons. It was Nox, it's Pons now.
Okay. All right. Do you think there's room? You think there's room for more launch pads?
I mean, I think it's going to be a race to figure out, which one ends up being the best, but there's plenty of opportunity. Obviously the chain's only a couple weeks old, so it's still kind of getting figured out. So I do think there's a healthy competition happening right now. And we'll see what the people choose, but I do think, it comes down to the tokenomics side of it and how much, goes back to the devs of the token and whatnot. I know Noxa was doing 95% of the fees going back to the devs and 5% going to the team. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Pons, I think, is 100%. So yeah, it's just going to come down to what the people choose.
And I think the key difference is here, Jesus, is like, what do the trenches want? And if the trenches think that we should own the launcher collectively, we should be the curators for the launcher, then it's Stonkbrokers becomes the elite choice. And it's built into a system where then you actually have identifiable community. So ideally, every Stonkbroker has one holder, and then we have a token launcher that is owned collectively by 4,444 people, all of which are doing marketing, BD, curating launches, pushing things because they're financially incentivized to do so.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you, so I guess it's based on the rewards and how much kickback and how much everybody, each NFT is getting. But at some point, are you worried about there being too high of a ceiling for people to achieve that, even like the mid-tier range, like the 1.3x range? Or do you think it's like, hey, you need to show the fuck up early and get in while you can get in?
Well, that's a little bit of the point, right? Is to create that early buy pressure. It's critical to creating healthy LP. But, I think a lot of people will just have the 1x basis. At some point, the cost basis becomes a lot. Maybe some people have 10 Stonkbrokers and they use 5 of them to boost their rewards, rather than just getting the 1x. I think there's a lot of strategy involved. I think that makes it fun. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
In the process.
Well, I'm going to be following Tusk because if he puts any of his plays on the timeline, the guy's been, he's still even active playing inside of the Pup Cup right now. And I'm like, and he's got a mad bag of mints coming up. So, and I'm also seeing other people. There's some that have like 40, 50 mints lined up for this thing. And I'm like, man, some people are going to be cooking on this. So make sure you're actually following the Clutch Markets account, because if you're promoting the brand and you're tweeting about it and you're talking about it, it seems like Clutch, the account's really involved in helping people and sharing content as well. So, which is a good thing. I do believe that.
For sure. And Jesus, people like Tusk, he has a lot of mint places because he participated.
Yeah.
He played the Pup Cup.
Yeah.
He had, 10 teams. And so that ended up being a big winner, not just because he had teams that are making it to the finals of the World Cup, but because he just waited.
Yeah.
He was patient with the process. He essentially took the long-term mentality instead of short-term speculation, where, probably other people flipped early to try to chase maybe another meme coin that was launched or something else. And that ended up being a significantly worse decision. What we're trying to prove with the concept of Clutch here is that we're just going to make intelligent decisions all the time. And hopefully that results in, positive price action. That being said, nobody knows what happens with the market. Yeah. A great scenario would be, the best case scenario is obviously adoption, but also a key principle is what happens with ETH, because these stockbrokers are pegged to ETH. And so if ETH can make a really strong run, this NFT is going to do really well because they're pegged to each other via the token. Other NFTs can't say that as much if they don't have that fractionalization principle.
Yeah. Somebody's asking here in the chat, Stonkbroker will be launched on Robinhood. Yes. Not going to read that comment. Someone accumulates 666,666 Stonkbroker tokens. Can they redeem an NFT? Yes, you can. That's going to be done not on the Anvil. That's going to be on stonkbrokers.cash, right? Everything Stonkbrokers is happening on that site.
Yeah, everything will happen on the site, but on the Anvil, I'll actually add a module where you can do it through there as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. And then Master Fade said market cap initial token. How much will it be? Shit, I have the slightest clue. Token's gonna launch and we're gonna send it. 25 mil is where I think we should go. On the initial first minute candle, Kenny.
I think he means on the launch of the token itself.
Yeah.
Essentially, based on the last 48 hours of Pup Cup and Clutch Puppy sales, we're going to average that, and then we'll create the market cap for the token. Right now, if we look at it, it'd be roughly a 300K market cap for the token coming in. And then with single-sided LP seeded, in terms of those are going to be tokens that are coming in from all of the NFTs we're seeding into the Anvil. And then it goes up from there. And as the price increases, obviously that becomes liquidity that supports not only the token, but the NFT as well.
Yeah. 4,444 of them now. So the rest of these, that was one of my questions. There's in the on OpenSea, there's still 1,351 Clutch Puppies, and then there's 856 of the Pup Cups. Obviously, not all of them are going to be able to make it in for that. Like I said, some are still being played with inside of the Pup Cup. There's no public mint. The remaining NFTs will just be in the LP, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I did the hard cutoff at midnight tonight, because I would actually prefer for us to have at least a significant, 20%, 30% of the collection at least being minted essentially through the Anvil to create that initial LP.
Yeah. Why all the 666? Kyle was asking that. He's like, what are we doing? Sacrificing a baby goat? So yeah, he was kind of worried there.
Well, I mean, we have the stock, these big corporations and companies, and let's assume they're all Illuminati. They'll be incentivized for this to do good as well. And so just if there's any magical forces out there that support number go up, we're going to go in that direction. But no, I'm not a devil worshiper.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if a free subscription to an adrenochrome shipment weekly was involved there or anything.
Jesus Christ.
Too much? Too much. All right, back on me. Back to you.
Yeah, a little bit too much. So now when we go and mint and we get our NFTs, we activate our NFTs, is there going to be a wallet created on Stonkbrokers that these tokenized stocks are getting dropped back into, or is that just going into our EVM, or like how does this work?
Yeah, so we're using a token standard that essentially creates a database or registry of wallets. That registry, essentially those wallets are all controlled by that NFT or by the individual holding that NFT. So that wallet will always move with its NFT. And you'll be able to access that wallet through the stock exchange through this. So there, say you have $5 worth of Tesla stock, you'll be able to send that $5 to your personal wallet, to another stockbroker, wherever you want. They move with the NFT. So a lot of these NFTs, in principle, say somebody doesn't collect their stocks and list it on OpenSea, some of those NFTs will be trading on OpenSea with RWAs actively within their wallet. And that's a unique instance. We've never had that happen before.
Yeah. Wow. Now, are you going to be able to see that inside of the traits or no?
You won't be able to see it on OpenSea because it's not something that we can reflect on their UI unless they make customization upgrades.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to see it on the stock exchange.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, damn. Some people, so you might have a little bit of arbitrage moment there now, but unless you activate, just because you mint, that doesn't guarantee you're not getting any drops sent to you, right?
Right. You have to activate. And at any point, if you transfer that NFT, so if you list it for sale, if you sell it, if you send it to another wallet, that activation gets turned off.
Okay.
So the new owner always has to reactivate it.
Okay.
So it's soft staking in this instance. So in the previous Anvil iterations, we had hard staking, which I think has its positives, but then you get that distro, which looks strange to, I think, NFT traders. Yeah. With this, it's soft staking, but you pay to enter staking.
Okay. All right, cool. Now, is there a time lock on the staking? Or I know on PupCup, it was like 72 hours before you could like move things around or do anything. Is there anything like that happening on Stonkbrokers? Like if you do stake?
No, because with the hard staking, it was important for us that people don't farm and get in and get out really quick just to farm high volume instances.
Okay.
With this, since it's up, you pay to stake, you're incentivized to hold because what else did you pay for? It's like the ticket to an amusement park. You just got in. There's no really point. It's about incentivizing long term.
Now,
holding.
Is there a way for once you activate an NFT? Once you activate it, it's activated. It could be at any level. So we could see an NFT sell for 5 ETH because it's sitting at the maximum allocation of activation. Do the activations carry with it? Or when you unstake, do you get the tokens back?
No, when you pay for activation, those tokens for now are essentially burned. So that's giving us deflationary NFTs. They don't carry. So when you buy a new stockbroker, it has to be activated.
Okay.
Anytime there's a transfer, deactivates the activation.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But the only thing that carries over is the underlying assets that have been airdropped to the NFT unless they've been claimed.
Right.
Okay, cool. All right. So on to the Stonk launcher. How soon do you think this is going to end up coming? Because you don't want to wait too long, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to get this out within 10 to 14 days after the mint.
Okay. All right. And then, but everything else other than that is going to be, because the exchange, the Stonk exchange, that's going to be live as soon as the mint goes live, right?
You mean not the launcher, but the actual, the principle of being able to swap tokens for NFTs.
Yeah.
So you'll have several phases, and obviously it's a crypto. We don't want to launch actually everything in one day. It's actually usually it's not beneficial. It's better to have things coming, right?
Okay.
So what you'll have is mint go live. At that time, token goes live. Then a little bit after that, you'll have a reveal, right? And I think that reveal is a cool moment too, especially because people rush to the Anvil. That creates a lot of volume. We saw that with PubCup.
Yep.
So we're replicating that. That instance, when people go to the Anvil, anytime people swap between NFT and token and NFT, when we can encourage that kind of behavior, that's going to boost stock token rewards because stock token rewards are derived from that process.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, this is all great because now you only have 12 hours to get a whitelist by buying either collection of NFTs. Then, even after that, the only way you're going to be able to get your hands on a stockbroker is by buying it then on secondary, because you're not going to be able to just go buy the coin. I mean, you can buy the coin early and then just sit on it and wait. But then you're sitting on a coin that's still going up in value. So it's like, do I buy early on OpenSea and get an NFT, or do I buy the token and enough to activate it and wait for the exchange to open? You know what I mean? So there's several ways that you can play it, but it's going to be interesting to see how well it's perceived after the mint, because right now, I mean, it's not live on Robinhood, but it's the highest valued NFT on Robinhood right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, in principle, it makes sense. Everything in crypto, every product, and especially what we do with Clutch is very experimental. It's contingent on user base, people using the product, people trading on the token and the NFT. It's going to be contingent on adoption. And the idea is, how can we create dynamic flywheels, instances, and situations where people are incentivized to essentially push that volume or push ecosystem activity? I think we did that. We proved that we can do that really well with the PubCup NFTs, and that we can make pivots and moves along the way. I always have like ideas in the barrel. For example, with the Stonk launcher, what I just started working on with the Stonk exchanges, what I noticed is that on Robinhood chain, there's effectively no place where you can launch your token and you can lock your LP. We don't have liquidity lockers yet. I think that's something easy. Like I built a liquidity locker, and so I'm prepared to add that liquidity locker to the Stonk exchange. So people go there to lock LP for their token. There's a fee associated with that, and we can always keep driving these types of activations and these fees into Stonk distributions.
Nice. These people are fucking madmen, bro. I'm watching the sales. Like since you've been talking 26 minutes, there's been, I don't know, maybe 15 sales, 20 sales on the Pup Cup side. I think guys, I know everybody's buying Pup Cups, and it may seem like a pain in the ass, but right now you can get the Clutch puppies are actually about $10 cheaper, and you get the same outcome. So
it's actually not even a pain in the ass anymore, because OpenSea will automatically bridge for you. You can just buy them with ETH. You don't even have to bridge the chain.
Exactly. So the floor on Clutch puppies is $689 ape, $104.98. And then going over to the Pup Cups, and we talked about this before you came on, they're $114 at 0.061. There were quite a few listed, and we called it. And then yesterday we called the bottom of this yesterday as well, or we called an arbitrage moment. Kyle was able to sell a couple of Pup Cups at right around 0.069 or 68. Then he went and bought Clutch puppies, and then turned around and flipped, I think, the Clutch puppies back for a higher price.
No.
You
I
still hold
have the
them?
Clutch puppies.
Nice.
Yeah. I've got 3 in it. I still have 1 Pup Cup and 2 Clutch puppies right now. Yep.
Nice. Look at this guy, fucking skilled trader. Teacher Katie said, so interesting. I'm way too late to this. Hey, I don't know. Some guy years and years ago probably said, man, Bitcoin's at 30 cents. I'm too late to this. And then look at what happened now. You never know.
We're looking at when Jesus with this, we're looking at an effective market cap at launch around 300K for the token. Yeah. I mean, I think relatively speaking, compared to the tech, it is low. But we just don't know. Like I said, it's all experimental. This is like me. I'm putting the turkey in the oven, right? But the part where we're setting the table, where we're feasting, it's very, very contingent on the community. It's very contingent on the people who own the NFT and the process to actually step in, participate, market, curate launches, show off their stock token rewards. What I do think is that we've perfectly fit into NFT community ethos and Robinhood chain ethos of what Vlad Tenev and the team there want. We've had an individual who works for Robinhood chain say this is a super fun product publicly at like a seminar, at like a meeting with a bunch of people. So I think we've hit a lot of great principles.
Yeah.
Now it's about execution, marketing, and getting to that next level moving forward.
Yeah. Well, speaking of marketing, I just seen your messages. I know you got to roll to another space or stream. We appreciate you coming in. As always, good alpha. I should have bought these motherfuckers 2 weeks ago, the the pup cups when they were $10. And I was like, man, he said these were getting burned for something. And but we didn't. It's all good though. I'm excited for the mint. I'll be locked in. And are you going to do anything tomorrow night or just let it go? And then are you have any spaces, anything like that going on that you need people to show up?
No, I'm just going to launch and let it go, and just roll with it, see how it goes, have fun. I'm expecting it to be interesting, right? This is an experiment. We don't know what the result of that experiment will be. We know we'll have good tech. We know we'll have a safe platform. That's what I can do from my end. On the other side, don't know what to expect. So everything is non-financial advice. I see people are buying $120, $105 NFTs and burning them. Take everything with a grain of salt, guys. This is crypto, highly volatile assets.
And now they're going over to Clutch Puppies and buying these. I'm watching this get bought up too. So one last question for you. Jolly said, so if we hold our Stonkbrokers for the distro, how will volume stay high?
You mean for the actual NFT? Well, look, because you have multiple facets that aren't only directly related to the NFT for revenue to actually bring stock token distribution. And you have 4 layers: royalties, you have the arbitrage or the fees that happen between the NFT and the token, the NFT. And look, guys, arbitrage is huge. Jared on Subway.eth made like almost $1 billion running arbitrage between LPs.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the stock launcher. So the meme coin launch pad, which is completely disconnected from the NFTs in terms of potential revenue and volume. And the 4th is that you have a DEX. We have a VDEX. So we have our own Aerodrome or Uniswap launching on Robinhood Chain. And so the idea is that this is the first community-owned VDEX. This is the first community-owned meme coin launcher. And that's why what I said earlier is super important. It really depends on everybody who's involved here collectively together, because I'm a one-man team. The rest of my teammates are the people holding the Stonkbrokers.
It's the community.
Yeah.
Well, we just need when the launcher goes live, we just need Vlad to come launch a token on there, and then bro.
Or PFP. If he PFP is a stockbroker, I'd be fine with that.
Holy fuck. Yeah, hold on to your ass. All right, well, cool, bro. We appreciate you coming on. I know you got to drop, but yeah, and we'll check back in as the weeks continue on post mint. And but yeah, good luck to you, and good luck to all the community as well. So
thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks, Jesus, for your time.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Simple Farmer. Always good to chat, bro.
Yeah. All right, Kenny. While we are wrapping things up here, do you have anything else that needs to be discussed?
No, it looks like Robinhood memes are starting to get bid again. Cash Cap back up to 105. You're starting to see some curling up on Meows, back up to 2.6, up 45% on the day. Hood Rat is back up to 4.2. So yeah, it looks like the memes are starting to get bid again. Keep an eye on that. Nice. We'll see if the flush, the selling that has been going on for the past 48 hours on Robinhood memes is done. So just paying attention to that, see where we're gonna put some liquidity at.
Yeah. Fuck Simple Farmer had the people that was hosting that was doing the other space in the comments of the live stream saying, we're waiting for you, Simple Farmer. We're live. We're live. Come on. It'll be all right there, buddy. He's coming your way. All right, cool. Guys, make sure you guys go to rcweb3.xyz. Check everything out going on. Reality check. Join the Discord. A lot of fun stuff happening on chain, man. I mean, Kenny, vibes are up. Markets are up. We're just waiting on Trump to drop the nuke and everything to go right back down. Hopefully he doesn't, though. So, yeah. All right. Well, tomorrow's Friday. This has been the longest fucking week ever, bro. Tomorrow, I would love to be here. I would love to host the space with you, but I have my mother's surgery tomorrow. So unless something changes, we will not be live tomorrow, but we will be back on Monday. Maybe if I can convince Kyle, maybe we run a Saturday morning space. We haven't done one of those in quite a while.
I'm down.
You're down? All right. Well,
yeah. Maybe we even let people up. Kenny Powers ain't showing up on a Saturday morning.
Hey, bro, Kenny's locked in. Kenny Powers is locked in. He doesn't have a woman. This is the only thing. This is the thing. Like, there's no woman in the way. There's no guy in the way. There's nothing. There's no, hey, I'm going out this weekend with my cousins. None of that. So Kenny is locked in. He may show up on a Saturday. What do you think, Kenny Powers? Are you coming?
I'm usually a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 guy, so probably not.
Did not take a lot to get that shot down.
Did not. Teacher Katie, thank you. And I appreciate everybody else who gave me well wishes on Monday, but we're back in the fucking in neurosurgery tomorrow. So, but anyways, yeah, go jump in the Discord and we will see you on Monday. So everybody have a good day.
Or maybe Saturday. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.